Yeah, it is Monday, isn't it? I woke up. Wait a minute, something feels a little bit different. Something feels a little off. Like it's not. I didn't feel like I had to do something. I don't have to do anything because I'm self-employed. By the mercy and grace of pure luck that I happen to be here as a podcast internet influencing guy. Can't be said of the GF. I'm like, huh. I feel a disturbance of the force that she's got to get her ass out of bed and go do something today. I feel the disturbance in the force. The disturbance in the force is telling me I could sit on my ass here all day if I wanted. She got to go do something. She has an obligation. I sense she has an obligation. And here we are on Monday. It's a beautiful day in the South Dakota hood. A beautiful day in the South Dakota. We still kept pot illegal. It's not a beautiful day because it actually is a cloudy, crappy day out here. But Cappy is enjoying having no chores, no projects, none. Went to a park. I'm going to keep hounding this. I'm going to keep hounding this because I'm right. And not only am I right, I have been to the promised land, and I'm reporting back to you doubters, you doubting Thomases, about the achievable and attainable world of where there are no more projects. I went to a house party. That's what you do. Cappy, what do I do when I'm in my upper 30s to almost 60 years old? That's your house party stage. Okay. That's where you're a dink, you have no income, or you have no kids, you got double incomes. You and your, I gotta come up with, I hate using the word partner. You and the person you're banging your regular banger person, you go to other people who are also regularly banging. And then people who have the kids that are of the age that they can kind of watch over themselves. That's where you have house parties. They all end at a reasonable hour because you're all starting to get wise. Like, oh, yeah, that nightclub and shit was bullshit. I want to get my sleep. Everyone's wearing sweaters. I'm not slamming on. I'm just saying what it is. And they're jibber-jabbering about the things that, you'd expect. And it's a little bit more highbrow conversation than you would. Hey, man. I just think that if we just loved and cared about, there's two types of conversations in the world. Okay. There's the mature adult. Oh shit. I have kids now. The world has kicked the shit out of me and I'm wise conversation. Your house party conversations for middle-aged folk. And then there's I know it all because I'm an 18-and-a-half-year-old college freshman and I'm a dipshit teachers taught me that I've never changed my oil. Half the time, I don't even know that I should change my oil. Because I'm Tina in the suburbs. Daddy paid for me to do everything. What do you mean oil? Oh, girl. This child here she knows. We just made everything free, and they're not even doing pot. It's not like they're this dumb with the assistance of a drug. No, that's their natural setting of stupidity. Next thing come out of mouth, rationalization for me not having to work. And you get the sweater people, the mid to late fall sweater people, the cozy drinking their what is it? Hot toddy people. Where's your kid going to school? He's going to go ninja. I will say this. Now that I'm of the age, a lot of my friends, colleagues, people my age, they're like, nah, our kids ain't going to fucking bullshit liberal arts degrees. They're not doing it. No, they saw what happened. They themselves went through it. And so I've seen more parents like, yeah, I told my kid, you're not going to school for any of this bullshit. Now, there are still some. And that might be the first go around at Gen Xers raising their kids. I saw that. We're talking 10, 15 years ago, where I saw, the first generation, Gen X who had their kids first. They were still kind of hands, well, whatever you want. They're finding themselves. They're finding themselves. If a parent says about the kid, "My child is finding themselves," that means you're a shitty parent. You just fucking failed. You didn't teach them about strategic planning, the purpose of life, some kind of wise choices. You just you dropped them off at daycare. You la 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 la. Became, I don't know, like a fucking mortgage broker or something fucking worthless. You ran and you didn't. There was no investment in the kid. You didn't give him an operating system. You didn't give him a compass. I didn't have that conversation. These people like, yep, they're going in the military, getting the National Guard, no fucking around. Like, yeah, these are my people. These are my people. And so that's what's going on. And that's what I was going to get to. So I'm at the party. Look, I'm used to it. Me against the world, man. Me against the Norm Macdonald did a shtick about Germany. He said, so Germany decides to start a war. And he said, well, it's going to be Germany versus, and they choose as their opponent, the world. And then they decide to start another war. And Germany once again decides it's going to be them against the world. And I'm used to you all being wrong. I'm used to every luck. You can't all beat me. I get it. You weren't made in the same lab. You weren't made on the same assembly line. Your creator didn't select the options that I got. Okay, we're two different creatures, two different machines. I get it. You can't all be right like me. And so I go in there, and a couple people I know. What one? He's like the cool old man. Do you want? Oh yeah, he's the cool old man. I want to be like him when I grow up. I want to be like this guy when I grow up. And he shakes his head. Oh, Aaron, you fool. You think the project's going to be done. And everyone piles in. They look at this dumb kid over here. I'm like, I'm older than like at least 3 of you, I think. Not by much. And they all doubting Thomases. They didn't believe that I made the travel to the promised land. They didn't believe what I saw reported. Bunches of grapes. See the biblical reference? See, I did have to go to the Christian school. Bunches of grapes, bigger than you can carry. Giants, we got to go kill them. Why? What did they do? I don't know. We just escaped in Egypt. We wandered around for 40 years. Now we got to go kill these people, take their land. That's awfully communist of you. So I reported about the big bunch of grapes, and they were all doubting Thomas's, and look at this guy. And I said, no, really, I got it done. Now, I had bad luck. I had lots of bad luck. Okay. We, as always, as is per American tradition, every American contractor must be a sister fucker, a drunk sister fucker who doesn't show up on time, doesn't do the job right, to the point that honestly, y'all might just become carpenters yourself. I mean, a couple of YouTube videos are going to do a better job than Jessup and his cousin fucking brigade of whatever, ciders or whatever it is they painted on their pickup truck. So I had to go through and do all the repairs and the fixes up that they didn't do right the first time. There's the standard work that comes with anybody when you purchase a house. I had to do a landscaping here, a little bit thing. I touched that up. Well, just whatever. This thing, you need a radon abatement system. These are all things you college-educated morons don't know because you'll be living in apartments your entire lives trying to pay off your journalism degree. And yeah, you know everything. Tell us again what to think. Miss Journalism major living in New York, never supported herself with the constant subsidy of the state and daddy. Yes, you tell me what to. Yes. You, Paul Krugman over there, never worked a day in your life. You've always been in academia, nonprofit. Yes, tell me how to have an illustrious career in hating Republicans. You and Whoopi Goldberg both. Yes, the Institute of Hating Republicans. You two morons could set it up. How do I get paid for that again? What exactly is the product at the end of that? Never mind. So, and then there was the lightning strike and all this other shit, and I had a repair thing, and then shelving. You know how long it takes to put in shelving in a house? If you do it right. See, we'll get to the point. We'll get to the topic. Just hang on. I'm giving you guys wisdom here. This is reports from the promised land. Take notes. Storage. Okay. It's very important about any house you're ever going to own. The first step is to get rid of all the shit you don't need, right? That's pretty easy for men. Women, because they love stuff more than anything else in the world, including human beings and their children and their husbands. You got to find the right girl. And you say, if we're going to live in this place, we're getting rid of all of our shit. Now, what that does is allows you to get rid of the one hated thing that makes every kitchen look like shit, cupboards. You don't want no cupboards. I got the old school, mid-century modern shelves, just the flat shelves. Why? Because what did Cap bring to the relationship? He brought one spoon, one bowl, one dish, one cup, one fork, one knife. And the GF had, she wasn't ridiculous. She had some. And then we ended up going to Walmart, I think, to get a whole new replacement set, which costs, I think, $20. So it'd all be the same color. Because I got that potpourri of Goodwill hand-me-down. It didn't match. So I got shelves. And that limits the amount of crap you're never going to use. Like, nope, and it's up there. So it better look good too. We're not hiding. There's no shame in our utensils. All right, there's the coffee cup shelf. There's the plate shelf. All right, you can put a picture or something up there on the shelf. That's where my humidor goes, on the other shelf. And then up at the top, you could put cute little decorative shit on the top, because we ain't ever going to go up to that shelf because it's too damn high. Looks clean. Looks sparse. Looks crisp. People come in, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you got too much shit. You need cupboards. We got shelves. But then the garage, you got to get a bunch of shelving right. The goal is to have nothing on the floor that doesn't have an engine. That's the rule about garages. So you get the hanging from the ceiling storage. And then you put your seasonal shit up there. I put the oil pans and a lot of, what do I got up there? Like the seed spreader, things that just don't, they're going to clutter up the ground. Put them on the shelf. The shelf. Shelving is great. Put shelving in the garage too. I put my shoes and my work boots on the shelf. Nothing's on the ground, which is important in South Dakota because you get rattlesnakes and brown recluses and black widows. That's, to be perfectly honest, that's like the main reason it's so sparse in my garage. I'm giving you guys no quarter. No, you guys aren't going to be like a bunch. This is not a Section 8 place for welfare housing people. You get your Section 8 black widow ass outside. It's very unaccommodating in my garage for spiders and creatures. Because they don't have like the old house spiders. Oh, okay, you get bit. You can't tell if it's a mosquito bite or what. No, this is you get bit and you're like, oh, you're going to have a bad day. So I got the shelves, everything organized. And the past 2 months even, no interruptions. No, this broke. No, that fell apart. No, nothing. We just had a bunch of rain come through. My basement doesn't smell at all like slightly damp because I did the landscaping and I drained, I landscaped everything away from the house. And it was nice. I've been going to the gym regularly again. It's like giving a big fuck you to the real world that constantly tries to fuck you over and enslave you. Oop, this broke. Oop, that broke. Yeah. Fucking people. That's the other thing. I didn't control a bunch of other shit. There's been a couple curveballs thrown my way, but outside my control, that obligated me to fly places. And it's not, I'm not pissed at the people. I'll give you an example. My grandma passed away recently. 97 years old. God bless her. I am not angry at how dare you die when I want to play video games? It's always these obligations and the bad timing and this, and I'm like, fuck. And past couple weeks, though, it's been uninterrupted peace. Can you imagine that? Imagine this. Okay, this is what I'm telling you is possible. And the doubting Thomases at the sweater upper middle income, upper middle age type folk party people, they didn't believe me. I've had technically 2 months uninterrupted without the obligations of other people requiring me to go other places. But minus that, I've almost had 2 months, 2 weeks straight uninterrupted bullshit. No bullshit. No projects that need to be done. They're done. There's maintenance, sure. You got like I had to put stable in the vehicles because you're not going to mow for the next 7 months. The weed whacker, I drained that out. There's maintenance. Okay, I have to do the dishes. Yes, I have to shower. Those aren't projects. And I kept trying to tell my friend, hey, listen, they're doubting. Oh no, and then they try to change the terms. See, they say, "Would you do dishes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Well, that's a project. Doing dishes isn't a project. That's maintenance. And they wanted to blur the lines because they didn't want to believe in the promised land with the grapes and let's go kill the Canaanites. They didn't want to believe that. And that's why I'm in a better mood. Notice how happy I am now. This is about as happy as I get. Where I woke up this Monday, I'm like, wait, all I got to, let me tell you what's on my to-do list. All right. This is on my to-do list. I get to go to the gym regularly now. Right. So I get to go to the gym today. I even have the time that if I wanted to, I could do the treadmill or a hike. We just got a ton of rain. So the trails are all muddy. It's not really worth hiking. Plus it's cold. I can do the gym. I can do my cardio. I got to go up to the GameStop and return a bunch of shit piss games. By the way, Kingdom Come Deliverance, that is a horrible game. Whoever recommended that, shame on you. That's horrible. You need to have better tasting games. I'm going to return those games. I'm going to get a bunch of money back from GameStop or in-store credit to buy. Man, we're talking like 1 in 4 games are good now. Even if it comes recommended, it really is. This is why I have such a vested interest in video games journalism and the video game world. Because it's like your default go-to source of fun, especially for men. It is such an important part of people's leisure, and leisure is what ultimately determines your standards of living. So that's why I have a vested economic interest in movies and video games. Where it's like, you got to make good shit. You have to make good stuff. This is like restaurants, right? You notice how restaurants have gone down in quality. Like, is it the end of the world? No, but a lot of people are really pissed off about it. You know why people are really pissed off about service and restaurant food and quality going down? Because that was their fun time. Do you guys complain about everyone getting fat, right? The opposite sex getting fat, right? Is it necessary for life? No, but do you like fucking fat people? No one does. See, it's not that, yeah, you get upset if your car breaks down, but cars break down. Those are like your standard, traffic, commute. Those are things that just come with surviving and living. When your fun gets fucked with, then you get real pissed. You get real pissed because it's the number one thing. You could have all the money in the world, but if you got fat people, shitty video games, and shitty movies, and shitty food, what the fuck is there to celebrate? I guess this is good a point for us to jump off about the topic I want to talk about. And that is, we've had election was what, a week ago or so. Kind of could see it. The post, and I don't follow politics, right? Up until the election, I didn't pay attention. I didn't really care. And if Kamala had won, I probably would not have done half the videos I would have done otherwise. But Trump won. And then when you saw the reaction of society, whether it was the media, the people, the voters, and all that other stuff, that all of a sudden became very important and germane. That was worth talking about and doing videos about. And most of my videos have been a reaction to people's reaction because it's exposed so much shit, especially about the left, how they've lost their fucking mind. I already knew they lost their minds, but they don't know that they're now on a public stage. They're losing their fucking minds, and everyone can see it. Everyone can see it. And it's especially the media. And what you're seeing right now is you got basically the death throes, the left-wing media, which there shouldn't be a left-wing media. There should be no left-wing journalism. There should be any wing journalism. There should be journalisms, facts. And I've known, goddamn, since the 90s, since what tipped me off to the fact that journalists were just lying sacks of leftist shit was the Star Tribune. New guy come to a town, the Twin Cities, and the main publication in Minneapolis called the Star Tribune. And I just remember every article I ever read, not that I was reading it daily, but every article that would come across, I said, they just hated conservative Republican white dudes. That's it. We hate conservatives. We hate Republicans. Oh, white people, they got to do more shit. Oh, there's discrimination. Rah, rah, rah. Males are oppressing. Rah, rah, rah. Same shit today, just without the internet. It was just on paper. And here I am busting my ass off, barely getting by. And apparently I am like the inheritor of some great estate, and I got my life on easy mode. Just a bunch of pissed off at that time, upper 40s boomers. They're my age. Right in their fucking filth. Right in their hate. And so that I always knew. Rush Limbaugh knew. If you're slightly savvy, you knew. But it's not whether you or a savvy individual knows. And we did kind of have this. The media, the left-wing media. And by the way, I don't just mean journalism, but I mean media, movies, television, that kind of thing. You had kind of a dethroning of the newspapers driven by the internet. And that's where PJ Media and the blogs came in. The citizen journalism came in. And that put a death knell into the newspapers. Thank God. And I don't think there's a newspaper today, like the mainstream newspaper, that's been profitable for 10 years. I didn't know the Star Tribune had to file for bankruptcy in 2008. If you file for bankruptcy or get a government bailout like the banks did, or a student loan bailout, fuck up. No, you're not real anymore. You're not a real company. Shut the fuck up. Everything you had done up to that point, you lost more money than what you made. You don't know what you're talking. Please shut up. Is it persona non grata? I've never understood what that term meant. It means, I don't know what Latin that stands for, but I got him. It's like, you have been such a fuck up, such a loser. You should not be listened to at all. We're not going to listen to you. You're excommunicado, whatever. Get the fuck out of here. Go away. And then some media people come in, like Carl Slim bought out the New York Times. It's like, why? And then you find out, well, Carlos Slim, I don't even know if he owns the New York Times, but he's got companies and they sell products. Well, there you go. There's your free advertising. What is it? A guy who owns 2 major league sports teams in the Twin Cities. He bought the Star Tribune. Like, of course, you're going to advertise your sports ball. So, I mean, beforehand, you guys were shills for the leftist Democrat Party. Now you're still shills for the Democrat Party, but you're carrying the water for this guy. You're just an advertiser. You're just an advertiser. You're a pamphlet. You're a pamphlet. I just, and then you go online, and I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all metric, but man, if I get more Twitter followers and interaction than the Star Tribune, which some days I do, dude, I'm not fucking Joe Rogan. I'm a very mid-tier influencer podcast YouTube person. I carry more weight than the fucking Star Tribune. We're kind of neck and neck. If you're going to use Twitter as a metric, I carry almost equal weight to that has-been newspaper. And that's not, oh my God, look how great I am. That's not it. It's like, look how fucking few people follow. Here's another one. You want to do another one? Let's go into video games journalism. Look at Kotaku. Kotaku at one time was like the premier website you go to get video game news. Oh, new game coming out. This is back when they reported on video games. Then Kotaku became a left-wing, radicalized shill, not just for politics, but for video games. Like, oh yeah, in other words, everything's a 10. Everything's a 10. IGN is a more modern website, and all their video game reviews are 7s. Smash JT, if you follow him on YouTube, he does everything's a 7 with them. It's always a 7. Shitty game, 7. Great game, 7. It's always 7. And Kotaku, I think they have like 1.2 million followers on Twitter, but the amount of traction they get, it's nothing. I get more traction on Twitter than Kotaku does. And Kotaku, which maybe at one time employed dozens, scores of people, they're down to 6 people now. Because they didn't do their job. You didn't report facts. And where it took the normies, and this is why the election is amazing, the reaction to the election. It took the normies a while to figure out they've been lied to by the left-wing media, by left-wing journalists. It took a long time. And not all of them are convinced. But this election has exposed it. It really is. Because here's the thing. Let's say you're a normie person, right? You've been told to think a certain way. And, oh, my God, wouldn't it be just great if we could help the people? And you have your stupid college freshman discussions. Hey, man, without the Ada pot sounding stupid. I just think shinks are being free. And look, if you're going to, and I should have said this when I was younger. I didn't, because I wasn't as savvy as I am now. If people start talking about, wouldn't it be nice if things were free? And I'm like, yeah, well, why stop there? Wouldn't it be nice if we all got big-titted redheads who gave us blowjobs every day? Wouldn't it be great if the women got cloned versions of Hugh Jackman to fuck them properly every night? Well, why stop? Come on. If we're going to dream, let's dream big. Those people would take a long time for them to figure it out. But what you got to understand, okay, it's not that there is this dedicated left-wing journalism, right? I would say all journalism is left-wing. If it's right-wing journalism, which they, like the American Spectator or PJ Media or something like that, it's in response to the complete bias and leftist domination of journalism and media, where that's the whole point of the publication. Like, well, we're a soccer magazine. We dedicated to soccer. We're a right-wing magazine because all the other media is left-wing. But you have to understand, the average person doesn't know it because the left-wing, it just happens naturally. It happens because of selection bias. Because let's use teachers as an example. Why are teachers all leftists? Are they leftists because the school system gets a hold of them and their employers indoctrinate them? No, it's selection bias because the people who become teachers, I'm sorry, it's going to hurt you because it's true, right? Lies don't hurt, truth does. Because you were lazy 17-year-olds who didn't want to work when you were declaring your major. There's no more bigger selection bias for laziness than people who choose education as a major. Now, if you were an Iraqi vet and you got pissed off and grizzled and then you wanted to help the kids and you have a degree in engineering and you end up getting your license to teach math, okay, that's different, but you're the exception, not the rule. The vast majority of teachers are just 17-year-olds who chose education because they didn't want to work hard and they wanted summers off. That's it. And laziness is the definition. That's the defining principle of left-wing politics of the Democrat Party, whatever. You don't want to work for a living. You want other people's money, right? It's what it is. You can go ahead and give me the explanation. Well, because of bigotry and discrimination and disadvantage and victor oppressor. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still want other people's money. And what tells on Democrats in general, teachers or not, you don't see a lot of engineers or accountants or soldiers or cops or people that work real jobs being Democrats. They're all fat. They're all lazy. They all got ridiculous hair colors. They're all in these work-avoidant, nonprofit, touchy-feely jobs. It is the selection bias. And journalism is the same thing. I'd say with a little bit of arrogance on top of it. And especially now with the advent of the internet, you're 17, you're going to go major in journalism or political science. You should know there's no market for that. Why don't you go major in talk radio? Why don't you go into radio communication? Why don't you do that? The industry's dead. But if you're a supremely lazy person and arrogant on top of it, you know better. You're Greta Thunberg. At 17 years old, you know better than the cumulative wisdom of the 117 billion humans that have lived on this world through the wars fought and the empires built and collapsed. You, Miss Insufferable Kuantaha of Sweden, or what the hell that worthless Down syndrome kid is from. You know better. It's the same thing with these journalism majors, except I remember in the 90s, they were 17-year-old idiots. They're the type, we just need free this and free. We live in a hut. They're the fucking adults now. They're the ones who are journos. In the mainstream, Anderson, I don't know how old he is. I think he's a little bit older than me. That guy didn't have a life. He's a trust fund baby. He got hired because he's gay and he had connections. Wouldn't he be, market? Which I guess if you're going to be the flagship spokesperson for the main or one of the two main news media outlets, I guess you'd have to have a certain look. I guess he was a wise choice for CNN people because that's adult parasites, what they listen to. I want to be told that I'm right and we have somehow yet to figure out a way for free shit. And here you go. Here's your prescribed robot man with the Rachel Maddow glasses who tells you the thing you want to hear. He's very clean, very, very kempt, very almost like he came out shiny new in the factory all the time. But if you look, and you can't see it right off the bat. And here's the reason why is because for the longest time, they had the veneer, right? You're conditioned, especially if you're older, you're conditioned. Oh, that's the TV nightly news. Look at how many billions of dollars went into the infrastructure. They chose this guy to address the nation about the very important things going on. That must be some serious shit going on. You don't realize that it's just been selection bias to hell where everyone there is biased into the left. You're just like, well, that's the news. That's important. Like when movies came out when we were younger, a lot of times you just went to the movie that came out in the theater because it was the movie to see in the theater. And you thought, oh, wow, this is fine art. This is really important. This is like, no, they're shitty movies. But because it was on the news, it was on the television, and you had the carryover, and everyone's wearing their suits. You know, the talking heads, they got their suits. Oh, we're very serious. Like CNBC, people used to think that was the big shit. Oh boy, financial news. That's really important. The Wall Street, oh my goodness, CNBC. Ooh, Squawk Box. And I'm not saying they did a bad job. I'm not saying that at all. But at the end of the day, they're no smarter than you. A lot of times they're dumber than you. And the internet now, you can look it up yourself and form your own damn opinions. You don't need these fucking talking heads to jibber jabber in front of you. What most of the normies didn't see for the longest time is that people who choose to go into journalism are going to be left wing. And maybe you would pick up on it because the solution was always, you guys got to pay more in taxes. We need more of other people's money. The complete abandonment, whether it was editorials or their skewed biased reporting or whatever, it was always the sinner is never responsible for getting themselves out of it. It's society that has failed the sinner, and we all need to do more and da-da-da. Meanwhile, I'm looking at like government spending as a percentage of GDP constantly going up. I'm like, how much more of the government economy are we going to, what is 100% enough? So having the benefits of being an econ major and having the data come along, the Fred database and all that in the late 90s, you start looking at like, none of this adds up. It's not adding up. And whereas some more astute and savvy people with the internet and data would come out, you look at it like, this doesn't make any sense. You find out you guys are lying. But, they're still wearing the suits. And they're still on CNN. And in defense, Fox News would even be biased too. You catch them in a lie every once in a while too. But the average person, like, but men on TV said so, and they have master's degree in. I went to the Columbia School of dude. If you went to the Columbia School of Journalism, you are a fucking liar. Tell me you're a liar without telling me you're a liar. The Columbia School. Why is that even? Why is there a school of journalism? That's me though. I've seen behind the curtains. But everyone you see the pomp, you see the circle, award ceremony, right? Award ceremony is a perfect thing of what I'm talking about. When I was like, oh my God, the Oscars. Well, that must be the best film. The prizes and awards in general, the Nobel Peace Prize, fuck off. And they couldn't hold it up. They couldn't keep it together. They just because they had such a dominant position in the media for the longest time. And first and foremost, they were leftists, right? They weren't truth seekers or reporters. They're leftists. And the only thing they don't have love. They don't have children. And if they do, those are like truly secondary. We got to change the world. We know better. And by the way, never maturing or growing past 17 years old when they decided to be a political science major or a journalism major. They just became fanatic. Like, we got to push this. We got to push it. And because they are in an echo chamber, whether that's the newsroom at CNN or the schools of journalism or Hollywood with the Oscars, the Whammies and the Grammys and the Hammies and the Bammies and all that, they just kept getting further and further removed from society. Hey, you know what kids need? They need trans. I didn't believe it until Modern Life John showed me there was a trans song on the Nickelodeon channel. Now, I am for trans people and cross dressers and do you things. Leave the fucking kids alone, man. Not because I don't want them to not know about trans people. It's not that. It's like, just let them be kids, okay? Don't fuck up the world. Just let them enjoy the childhood a little bit. They'll figure it, down the road. Yeah, oh yeah, there's trans people, and maybe you're not straight, and maybe you like it. As long as you're not hurting anyone, that's a conversation for later. But in their little left-wing echo chamber, whether it's university or the media or whatever else, you have to keep pushing that edge. You have to keep forcing things that we got to go more, better. There's also, I wouldn't call it a mental disorder, but there's a mental flaw. There's like a bug in human programming where you have to constantly progress, where technically, though, there's a point where going further actually causes harm. Pointed this out before with the Texas legislature only meets once every 2 years, I believe, because they don't want more laws. There is, in any state, locality, nation, we would agree, theoretically, somewhere there's like an optimal amount of laws, right? If you don't have enough laws, a lot of crime, a lot of shit happens. If you have too many laws, it's too constrictive. So we agree at some point there's like, oh yeah, I think we perfected it, and now we're done. Now we just nip and tuck a little bit from that point on. Nope, not leftists. Always got to be new laws, new things, new regulations, new. Why? Because the leftist, usually a politician, doesn't give a fuck about the people they're representing or the citizens that they're, that they're the city council of. It's all about them and their ego. We need to do this. We need to do that. I gotta me. If you're in this fucking leftist journalism echo chamber, it's push. And if you're in the echo chamber, you don't know what the real world and the real people are doing. And the reason I got all these different, if you look at the people I got up there, you're like, well, I don't, who are these people? Well, you all recognize Anderson Cooper and Rachel Maddow. They're from the old school guard. The ones up there, there's Alyssa McCanties, and then liar Jason Schreier. They're games journalists, which isn't a thing. And you kind of saw that edge being pushed to where the normal people didn't want it. And again, a lot of you maybe don't play video games, but you have watched movies. Have you noticed, like, oh my God, we need gay, trans, black, lesbian, space women in Star Wars? Don't know why the fuck we need that. Same thing's happening in video games. If you want to go look up Veilguard trans or Veilguard woke and do an image search, you'd be like, what the fuck is this horse shit? And it is amazing to me to watch the institutions, for lack of a better word, whether it's journalists, award ceremony people, Hollywood, government, media, but in this case, video game studios, where they're like, yeah, you know what? You know what the video game public wants, which is typically males. You know what they want? They want a video game, and this is what the latest video game to drop called Dragon's Age Veilguard is. It's written by, it's got what's called millennial writing. Like, oh my gosh, Trisha. It's supposed to be in like a Dungeons and Dragons medieval kind of evil creatures taking over the world. Got to be serious, like Lord of the Rings type of stuff. But imagine if you had, coffee shop talking millennials, and they had a bunch of, well, I know they had a trans director or something like that, but they had, it's not even whether you're trans or female. There are a lot of female writers. They had left-wing people in charge of writing the script, because video games aren't games anymore. It's got to be a fucking movie. Can't play the game. You got to have a movie. It all ends up becoming a political sermon and a soap opera, but it's like a chick soap opera. It almost starts taking on a what do they call them? A Harlequin romance novel. Which the two don't. If you want to go make a Harlequin romance novel, go make a Harlequin romance novel. No one's going to stop you. There's a market for that. But they try to put it in the games because they want to spread their message. We got to, they'll say own the chuds, which I don't know what the fuck a chud is as of yet. But the whole point is not that these activists, leftist journalists, unhinged, don't know when to stop. putting themselves in the politics ahead of the audience or the citizens they represent if they're politicians, because they have to do something more. I got to do it. Goes beyond the point of help and functionality and certainly profit. And I kind of look at it's Electronic Arts that owns BioWare, which is the ones that are creating this video game. That I am left to conclude that the managerial classes, the people heading up these institutions, are also in an echo chamber and are so far. You, me, and everyone else would know, hey, you know what I want? I want an old school Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons, Dragons and Swords video game. And we're all like, yeah, I want that too. But if someone started coming in, we should have like a lesbian main character who talks for hours with other characters about their sexuality and emotions and who they have a crush on. And everyone would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Including gay people who, if studio heads, if you can understand this, straight people also, I'm sorry, not straight people also don't like shit. Not straight people, gay, lesbian, they want good products too. Right? But the echo chamber is so big, apparently, that the executives didn't come in and say, what are you doing writing trans shit in here? Okay, we'll have maybe a trans character, maybe, but it ain't going to be the main plot. We got to kill the blue dragon, and then we got to kill the red dragon, and then we got to kill the gold dragon. We got to get the magic claws to create the magic sword to defeat the ultimate dragon. They don't want to hear politics in their fun. It's too late. The echo chamber captured the executive branch. And again, to show you where leftist media, not just journalism, leftist media has skewed so far away from go look at what Kathleen Kennedy's created. Every product she's come out with now with Star Wars. No one wanted lesbian space witches. No one asked for that. No one asked for Marvel to come up with hate-filled, twerking, female, strong, independent female lawyer doing lots of things, having lots of sex. It was Futurama. That was funny. That was fun. Hollywood, did you kill all the people that created that funny show? You can't have those people around, right? And so just as Hollywood, Disney, especially Disney, video games have just gone so warped so far. In this particular case, leftist, I guess, trait-based, sexual-based politics, an obscure route, and left their audience. What you saw with the Trump election is you saw how far the left got exposed, how far the left-wing media has gone. And I got a couple examples here, because what's ended up happening is the left-wing media has been huffing their own farts for so long. They've been pushing more and more radical shit. I don't think they have anything to anchor them or anything really truthfully to go pursue in life, so they might offer something that's good or noble or fun or joyful or beautiful. They don't. It's just more parasitism, more left-wing. We got to change the world. Got to change the world. Got to change the world. And you definitely see the real their tyranny got unmasked. There's a lot of instances where you got to peer behind the corner, but the gals on The View, like, well, if we controlled social media, then Trump would have gotten elected. Forget for a second that, like, you already got a bias against Trump getting elected, as opposed to, well, Trump got elected, the people spoke. I personally didn't vote for Trump, but there's democracy. We got to get rid of the Electoral College. But when the View said, if we could control social media, you mean free speech? You fuckers. Fuck off. And people are like, wait, what? Control social media? And then this guy. Now, he is a nobody. He's it looks like an East Indian dude, and he's got a Johnny Bravo pompadour, but it's gray because he's, I don't know, 50 years old. And that's what you want to, dude, why don't you just get tattoos or dye it pink? Honest to fucking God. I'm not saying we all got to look like Ward Cleaver, but if I'm in my 50s, I'm not wearing a ridiculous pompadour. Now, you could look at this guy's background. He didn't go off to war. He didn't work a real job. This is just your standard, non-thinking 17-year-old turned journalism major. I'm not going to work hard. And now 3 times his age later, he's still the same 17-year-old. Here, listen to this. Anand Giridharadas argued Democrats need to build a media ecosystem similar to the Republicans following Vice President Kamala Harris's election loss to President-elect Donald Trump. I'm not right. You're right. You're right. Did it dawn? Wait, media ecosystem. You have the mainstream media. You've had it this entire time. What are you talking? Oh, you mean online? Oh, you mean to talk to the younger people? You mean young people don't respond to Rachel Maddow or Anderson Cooper? No. So I don't disagree with them there. But are we gonna do the what was the left-wing news radio? Air America. They did that with Al Franken, and all it did was compete with the mainstream media because it was the same talking points, so it didn't last too long. Girid Haradas, publisher of The Ink, joined Morning Joe on Friday, and while discussing the presidential election, he lamented that liberals do not have the equivalent of popular podcasters like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson. That's because you guys already have your main. You got. Where were you? Morning Joe. Is that on CNN? Okay, go start your left wing media, podcast. Go ahead, do it. Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, both appeared on Rogan's podcast shortly before the election. Rogan could not make a sit-down happen with Harris Entertainment. He offered, right? According to Girid Haradas, Republicans have a media ecosystem that acts as a radicalization funnel. Oh, so everyone who disagrees with me is a Nazi. I work in this industry. Let me tell you how I got here. I was an economist. I had the data. I didn't have a political opinion like, oh, I vote this way because that, and then go look for the data because I have nothing else in my life, and therefore I need to force the world to fit my left-wing agenda. I looked at the data and said, I looked at history too. I said, oh, shit, this is like Thomas Sowell. Why'd you stop becoming a communist? Because it doesn't work. I looked at the data. I said, oh, these are the facts. And then I formed my politics from there. I don't really have politics. I have facts and information. And yes, left-wing, Democrat, socialist, labor, whatever politics, they don't work. Free market economics, terribly sorry, eat a bag of dicks. Maybe go get mommy and daddy give you more money. I don't know. But people who disagree with you are radicalized. Here's the quote. What they have done in the online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine. Oh, you mean like colleges and universities? The way militant groups do around the world that takes people from relatively low-level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politics. Why? Because men wanting thin women or balanced budgets or immigrants out of their country is not fascist politics. Do you see? Do you see? They don't agree with me. There's no chance that these people might have legitimate concerns. Right off the bat, if you don't disagree with me, you're a fascist. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure. And no, it's very organic, actually. It really is organic. And there's nothing like it in the pro-democracy side. You're not pro-democracy. We're not anti-democracy. Do you guys see it? We don't have Ann Dash when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized. We don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. Now, that's the thing. You got to peer behind the curtain there. The correct answer is a feminist direction, according to this guy. Now, maybe he said that accidentally, or it was not a faux pas. I think he believes it because that's like a Freudian slip. Was that it? Is that where you actually believe the thing and you accidentally utter it out? He said the quiet part out loud. Why is the feminist direction the right direction? Ananda? I have some concerns about the feminist direction. I don't forget the politics. None of them look all that happy. Feminists look pissed off and miserable the entire time. And feminists, I just did a video where a bunch of feminists at the UN wanted to shut down. Okay, now I'm exaggerating. They had concerns about Japanese media, namely manga and anime, displaying women in negative ways that would increase domestic violence. All right. If you don't know about the Japanese culture, they draw the girls with tiggle bitties, and there's very sexualized Nebraska graphic. Nebraska, look it up. They grow corn in Nebraska. Nebraska graphic cartoon magazine comics. And it's very popular in Japan. Not my cup of tea necessarily, but, that's them. They do that. They like tiggle bitties. And these girls, oh, we're concerned. They're thieves of joy. Somewhere out there, somebody's having fun, and we got to knock it off. We got to stop it. So you could, and I, if you cared, I look at things where it is perfectly legal to discriminate against men. Women get all the favorable treatment in this world or this country, and there is a bias against men. And blaming men for the patriarchy and all that, no. The feminist direction is not the right direction. But this guy thinks it is. Now, he hasn't gone so far to say, we need to control social media. He is right in one way, and that alternatives could be offered. God damn, one of these days, alternatives could be offered. You're right. You could. I wish you would just use your brains a little bit. What are you going to offer? Look, Anand, let me save you and CNN and the left-wing media establishment a shit ton. While you're recording to CNN or whatever, or MSNBC, right? While you're doing that, live stream online as well. There's your online media. Why double the work? Okay? You're going to do the television. You already own all of the media, pretty much, unless it's explicitly right-wing for whatever reason. You own it all. We got to get an online presence. Okay, we'll record you. I mean, you got to show. I don't know who this guy, I looked him up. He's a writer. He's just, parents, I think, are academics too. East Coast. Okay, you've never tipped a cow. I get it. You know everything. Okay, Mr. 17-year-old. Yeah, we all got to be feminists. All right, grow your hair some more and look like a dork. But why don't you just record your show on the internet, put it on YouTube, stream it on Twitch or whatever, and tweet it out? There you go. You already are offering the content. You're just on the wrong platform. We got to get our own people. Yeah, just do the same thing you're doing now, right? You got the 40 pluses. Now put it online where the young people are. You're done with no added cost. I mean, maybe a little bit of cost with some hosting costs and some recording equipment for the internet, but there you are. But this guy, where he says we got to move them in the feminist direction, I could just close out of that. People start really, hey, wait, what? After the Trump election, they all freak. Men voted Trump. We got to move men to be more feminist. And again, to show you, echo chamber, these guys don't know what men have been going through, especially young men. I do. I got them as clients. We talk to them, fresh and fit. Rollo Tomasi, Rule Zero Gang, all those guys. Yeah, men have some sincere concerns, and they don't feel appreciated. They're not invested in. They're told they're the scum of the earth. Women reject them, although that's common. And you can say, oh, nut up and da-da-da. Okay, that's fine, but you're not listening to them. Where the left wing would go a long way in trying to understand men is if they listen to Thinking Ape. When listening, I think he does the most precise, clear explanation, very succinctly as well. I kind of ramble and rant. Mine's not bullet points. But you're not going to do that, are you? It's left wing. Has to be the right way. To corroborate this, again with the gals at The View, if we controlled social media, and they're just so pissed, they're apoplectic. They're screaming angry heartbeat. They just assume the Democrats are always right. Left-wing politics is always right. The Republicans they're calling you fascist. Do you guys actually advocate fascist policies? Like, I want to get rid of those group of people and kill that group of people, and we're going to have a government takeover of corporations, but it'll be through policies and influences, not through actual ownership, though. I guess more modern European, that gets more economics than is political fascism. Do you guys actually advocate that? Are you more for like, leave us the fuck alone? We want the government to have less power. See, but you're fascist according to these people. And what's ended up happening with the Trump election is you saw these people lose their shit and expose what they really think when you realize, like, holy shit, that's radical. That's extreme, and not in a good way. You actually think that you got to control. Here's the main concern I have with the left-wing media. You actually think you have the right to go in and tell people what to do and what to think. And we got to get men to be more feminist. There's also the total lack of self-awareness where you just kind of got your asses kicked. Trump, of all people, which I didn't think was going to be a popular president, it's a lot of people, they said, I didn't vote for Trump. I voted against you leftist assholes where everything's got to be trans and gay and this and that. And we got to crack down on speech, calling everyone who disagrees with me a Nazi. And that's where I think most people aren't excited about Trump being elected. They're excited watching you people lose your fucking shit. And whether it's The View or you can watch TikTok, girls are fucking crying because Trump got elected when he's not anti-abortion. He never was. He just kicked it back. He didn't even kick it back. It was the Supreme Court anyway. What has this guy done to you that you're all screaming and crying? People actually think this guy's going to kill you and put you in camps. It's not what's going to happen. But seeing girls just freak the fuck out because they lost, you start to like, whoa, you guys are way off base. Then you throw in, this is why I throw in media journalists, where they keep trying to tell you, oh yeah, trans is cool. Trans, if you don't like trans people, if you don't like, it's not even that you don't like trans people. You don't want politics in your games. You hate trans people. You hate black people. You hate lesbians. And on top of that, with video games journalism, and here's where I'll get to that later. But surprise, video games journalists, all left-wing. Video game would be about to be released. It looked like woke political shit that no one wants. They would come out and say, the greatest game ever. You got to buy this game. This game is amazing. Oh my God, 10 out of 10. I played it and it's really good. And then people get it. It was a lie. Whether you're traditional mainstream media, The View, the fact that you're there to report the news and tell people no, you're liars. You've been propagandists this entire time. Or you're video games journalists, which that industry's just dead. It's over now. This is the greatest game ever. Oh, this is the best movie. So says the Nobel Peace Prize Committee or the Oscars people. This is the best. Like, they got this thing called the Video Game Awards. It's fucking bullshit. Doesn't mean anything. And what the election has done, as well as the timed failure, the same timed failure of video games and movies, where you tried, man, you media people tried your best to get this limp dick to get erect. You tried to make feminist Star Wars profit. You tried to hoodwink, and no one's having it. Because we're right. We're the people. And that'd be fine if you were journalists reporting the facts and news, but this entire time, you're just a bunch of 17-year-old high school students who think you know better, who are deathly afraid of work, and all you got is your left-wing fucking politics. And you can't believe the American people went and voted for a guy who, I mean, really, this is pretty boring shit. Lower taxes, illegal immigrants out of the country, and it's not a policy, but thin women, right? Because it's Trump. To show you again just how warped and removed from the mainstream media has become. They actually try to look at the uglification of women in video games and movies. You really want to make women ugly. You guys are appalled men like attractive women. It's hilarious. And by the way, again, big old pull the curtain back. You're wrong, we're right. Now, why you insist on having ugly women is because of left-wing politics and the male gaze and feminism. Yeah, let me join team feminism. Okay, Anand. Yeah, I want to join the miserable, pissed-off, ugly women who hate it when men like girls with big boobs. Anand, do you like girls with big boobs? It's all right if you don't. It's all right. Everyone's got different. You like girthy black gals? Man, you'll be happy if you do. This is your decade, sir. The rest of us don't. We don't like ugly shit. We don't like politics in our fun. We like pretty women, not fucking Lizzo. Do you see how they keep pushing Lizzo? It isn't Republicans pushing Lizzo. And then when you guys have lost your shit and your recommendations are, we got to control speech. These people are fascists. Now the mainstream media, the mainstream people are starting to see it. Young people, like, there are a whole bunch of things where the left went too far and the media carried their water, went too far. That alienated a whole bunch of group of people. Jews who normally vote Democrat, huge Democrat voters, huge Democrat supporters. When you saw all the Palestinian protests on the college campuses coming from the left, when 500 people just got killed, and that's somehow their fault, right? Not a big Palestine-Israel cop, just pointing out like, gee, they just lost 500 people, and now they're all in. Oh, God, didn't they, like, some Jews had to hide on some campuses? That's one. Having trans gay shit in schools with little kids, not to mention our video games, that's another one. Right? Feminism, again, this would be my domain. I'm sorry, have you seen the sex war going on? You treat men like shit in this country, short version, okay? And girls, girl G boss in a mini, girl G boss in a mini. That shit, not, someone said, this is the point I knew Kamala would lose. Kamala goes on, oh, wow, shot. She didn't go on Joe Rogan, but she did go on an influential podcasting gal. It was a gal who has a sex show about girls' rights. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't talk about the budget or nothing boring like that. And then, I guess also with trans and gay and stuff, it just I'm for everyone's rights. Like, yeah, you have the right. You're shocked Latino men voted Republican? Why? They work hard. A lot of them came here legally too. And they're Christian or Catholic or at least traditional. They don't like fat women. They don't like feminism. No, their children's not going to come back with surgery scars at 12 because the teacher has the right to usurp their child from them. You leftists don't live in the real world. You're especially journalists, you're an incredibly privileged trust fund baby group. You don't work hard. You don't work. Fucking look at your leaders. Fucking that guy has never worked a day in his life. Obama worked 1 year before he became a politician. Ocasio-Cortez worked 6 months as a bartender. And Bernie Sanders I think he hacked it for 18 months as a wannabe carpenter and then just ran into public office. You people are the trust fund generation, whether it's the actual Democrat Party or the media. The people, look at this, Alyssa Mercantis. We could go with Jason Schreier too. These people weren't, they didn't get the GI Bill and get shot up in Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? Neither did I, but I ended up paying for my way through life and all that. These people are just spoiled little privileged kids from the suburbs who had everything handed to them. And and in doing so, they don't know what hardship is. The View. Do you think any woman ever broke a nail at The View? They don't know what hardship is. They don't know the value of human time. They don't know the value of human investment, counter investment from other humans who also have to sacrifice their time while supporting themselves and working. They don't know what love is. They don't have people in their lives. They don't have children that they care about. Guarantee all those kids were outsourced if they happen to have kids. And so all they got is the politics. And there's no one stopping him saying, you are so warped and removed and untethered from reality. Oh, fuck off, fascists. I mean, Schreier's one guy. This guy, oh, did come on, have me go here. This guy is he's a video games journalist most of his life. He majored in writing. Don't tell me you worked at the McDonald's like Kamala Harris did, presumably, and had to make ends. Don't tell me mom and dad, I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jason. He blocked me on Twitter. But I'm sure mom and dad helped you with rent, right? Right? And surprise, he comes out, oh, this is the best video game ever. Oh, yeah, it's successful. It's awesome. Eat it, chuds. Which, by the way, if you ever hear someone say chud, that you could just dismiss him as a real journalist. And now we can't see him. Turns out the video game is failing, or at least won't be financially profitable. Where are you, Jason? Come on, man. He's just an example. These are not real human beings. They're not real men and women that had to work, had to put them, starved, went hungry, had to worry about money. Unless someone wants to show me their receipts, okay, fine. I'm just going to say, if you had the luxurious life of being able to be a journalist these past 30 years, yeah, I don't think you have any tethering or anchoring to the people in the real world. I don't think you have anything to live for. Frankly, it's all your politics, because that's how you got here. And left-wing politics is all about ego. You're going to save the world, even though the world has been saving itself and making progress significantly, especially the past 500 years, I'd say. It's all about you. And what's all about you, you do not consider reality. You do not consider other people. You don't consider the guy who busted his ass off at like a CNC milling machine, who just wants to go home and play some shoot 'em up bang bang games. And like now they got ugly chicks, and there's a lesbian romantic comedy going on in the background, but with a guy who happened to be trans or was a girl, now is a guy. And they see that. And then they see the View getting pissed off and hate. That's another one. How do we get boys? I don't know. Have you tried not hating on them? And then you look at the left and the media's reaction. We're going to double down on hating men. We're going to make them be feminists. Okay, let me know how that goes. Maybe you can make the women fatter and more ugly in our video games and movies. Maybe, I don't know. It wasn't annoying enough to see, girl boss in a hat. Girl boss in a hat. If you could get young women to hate men even more, if you could get them to be even more insufferable. But what I like the most here is, this is my whole point with the left. It's over for the left-wing media. It's over. And it's not so much because of the Trump election or failed video games or failed media. What it is, it's been the internet now. And what was it? Was it Hitler that said before he invaded Russia, it's a rotted building that once you kick the door down, the entire building will collapse. Like, he thought Russians were so incompetent and inept. And the rot from within was so universal, like they would just fall. Well, he was wrong, but I'm sorry that I'm right. The left-wing media, journalism and entertainment media in general, it's over for you guys. And largely it's because of the internet. We can look up our own shit now. Right? The newspapers were wiped out by blogs and PJ Media and the like. But now your television media, your other journalism as well. Young people, they're on the internet. They're more influenced by influencers. You guys are old hat. Your Time Magazine, your 60 Minutes. But you acting like petulant little children and having extreme things like, yeah, we should have trans shit on, tell little fifth graders that. We should have that on Nickelodeon. We need to have ugly women in people's video. We need trans politics, or not even trans politics. You need a trans story in our fun. We need to make video games all about women. We need to train women to tell them that they don't need men. Those extreme things that you have been pushing and being for, yeah, it's all exposed on the internet now. And for a good 10 years now, there's been alternative media sources like a Joe Rogan, like my little webpage here. And yeah, we're not as big as CNN, but we're way more in number. And we're way more tailored. And it just, here's another thing, it just makes sense. Like, do I really have to argue with you that men likes thin women and that's all right? Do I have to argue with you that people should raise their kids? Do I have to argue with you that telling men they're not needed for 50 years is bad? That's just my niche and specialty. Or let's do economics. Do I really have to tell you need a balanced budget? Do I have to explain to you that illegal aliens should not be allowed here? There should be no foreign invasion? Do we have to have this conversation? No, we don't have to have the conversation because I'm right and you're wrong. It's common sense. You guys got no brakes on you. You got no anchoring to the real world. You just keep on going because you don't know anything else to do but the ideology. And now that you're acting like petulant little children, now that you're exposed, now that everything you said was going to come true didn't, whether that's profitable Star Wars, feminist Star Wars, which didn't come true, the video games, by the way, Alyssa Mercantis just got fired or laid off or quit, whatever, from Kotaku. She was there. Now she's not even doing journalism. Now I guess she's going to go work for Sweet Baby, which is an activist company that tries to get, talk about jumping onto a sinking ship, that tries to get diversity into video games. The video games themselves aren't making money. Despite people like Jason Schreier trying the best to make it sound like it's profitable, it's going to go somewhere, and these are great games. It's falling apart. You're failing. Your flanks are collapsing. And if there was one last vestige of left-wing media that might have not saved it, but held up, it's the facade, it's the veneer. You guys got some great lighting. You got the best lighting. CNN, The View, you guys got the best lighting. You got the best cameras. Your audio is perfect. And then you act like petulant little Nazi children. We got to do something about social media. You guys lose your fucking shit. Oh, you lost it in great 4K definition. We got to move men in the feminist direction. But you're telling on yourselves now. And I don't know, I got to imagine also that young people, especially the millennials, followed what you said, the Zoomers followed, and nothing good came of your advice. Majoring in left-wing dumb shit, follow heart, money will follow. That's starting to wear thin. And people, they're not going to go all run into Donald Trump, but they're not believing you guys anymore. Because your advice is the same fucking shit it was 40 years ago. Now it's just a little bit more clear definition. And Trump triggered you and showed your hands. And now no one's going to believe you anymore. Or increasingly few. And you may hate it. You may hate real world things like people want balanced budgets and people want lower taxes and people like thin, hot women with big boobs and women like masculine men and masculinity isn't. You may hate that, right? But that's what the real people want. That's what normal, healthy, sane people want. And the fact now we got the internet and the media and YouTube, we are the media. You know, the Somali or not. Yeah, the Somali pirates, the meme. We are Captain Now or something. We are the journalists now. We are. And it's not even, you go watch, again, it's microcosm, but go watch the modern day video games journalists are the YouTubers who go and they review the games for realsies. They're the ones that expose all these fraudulent joke journalists who are just shills for whether it's Star Wars and movie theaters or movie studios and video game developers and all that. Although I don't even know what, you almost don't need them because people are going to find out like this game is shit. No, we don't. Like, here's some, if you're bored, watch what happens to Mass Effect 5. The same woke trans activist type of journalists and writers that worked over on Veilguard, which is failing, unless there's some amazing amount of sales that come through. They're going to work on Mass Effect 5. Guess what? Mass Effect 5 is going to be woke trash. It will not make money. Here's another one to watch, Ghost of Yote. Their main voice actor is a female who, in the real world, just hates America, hates cops. All cops are bastard. I don't think she likes men too much, white men especially. See how that goes. And then Borderlands 4. Man, I love Borderlands 2. It's a great game. Borderlands, oh, we're going to go woke now. Borderlands 4. Let's see if this is going to be woke shit again. And it's not our money. You know, we're losing. You're losing your money, and we're not giving you our money. And it's because they're going against reality. And that's ultimately like left-wing media is going to fail. What they say is not true. It is also not in the best interests of your average person. I'm not saying the Republicans got, the solutions to everything either. But jamming sexual politics on little children in public schools, no. Not raising your children, training or predispositioning women to view men as competitors and adversaries, if not outright hate them, no. Trying to convince us big is beautiful, no. Convincing us somehow the ultimate, oldest fucking lie. Oh my God, that you don't have to work for a living. And Paul Krugman's got a new article out in the New York Times. I don't have to read it. At the end of the day, it's going to be Trump bad, we deserve free shit. I mean, that's pretty much all of Krugman's articles. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And since it doesn't work and you've moved to extreme and now you're exposed that, yeah, the left-wing media, you're not the media anymore. We're the media now. I mean, really, who watches Time or 60 Minutes? Is Anderson Cooper really a thing anymore? Do I got to listen to the robot with glasses? Rachel Maddow. Okay. Well, that's another thing. Feminists don't age well. I don't know if the young gals are starting to realize, hey, remember the really cool, edgy Rachel Maddow from 15, 20 years ago? Now she's the pissed off middle-aged spinster Maddow. Just how unhappy Democrat women are in general. This whole hate men thing and men are oppressing us and we need more free shit and You ever notice how, Hillary Clinton, incredibly successful political career, not a happy woman? I don't know. Well, I do. I do know, actually. Yeah, people aren't listening to you anymore. Because at least our message makes sense. And we're not tyrants. At the end of the day, we're like, you need to pay more money, and we got to control what you think and speak. And by the way, you better want to fuck Lizzo. Otherwise, you hate black women. Gee, I can't find out why black men, historic levels of voting for Trump. Historic levels of not showing up. I understand the apathy, guys. I get it. But that's fine. And here's what's great. Here's what's great about me, and then we'll move on to the super chats. What I love about the left wing, you guys in the left wing media, you don't know anything else. Like, you can't possibly think that you're wrong. And you hate the American public. You hate it when people don't agree with it, because everyone who disagrees with you is Hitler, right? And you're going to double down. Because you got nothing else to do. You really, because otherwise I admit that you've been wrong this entire time, right? That you guys like living over in the East Coast between Baltimore and DC and Philadelphia and New York and up in New England. Like you guys can't possibly be wrong. You'll never give it. It's like a feminist who's like postmenopausal. It gets too late, you're not going to have kids. Your beauty is gone. You're just going to double down, right? Because that's all you got. Because your ideology is more important than the reality that people want. Well, not the reality of people, the reality that people are living in. You are more important than everyone else. And what you think the view, look, you think the view is going to say, well, what did we do wrong? Could it possibly be the sex war between men and women? And we don't agree with it, but we're going to have Rollo Tomasi on to explain to us the men's side of things. You think that's going to happen? You think Paul Krugman? Now, Paul Krugman, I think he knows what you think he's going to say, yeah, all right. I kid, this Keynesian thing was all a bunch of bullshit. I was just telling people what they wanted to hear. For the sake of the future, you boomers are fucked. You followed my advice, you're all fucked. But for the sake of the younger generation, you got to work. There's no such thing as printing off free money. I mean, we could do it, but it causes inflation, as you're all finding out. Yeah, I know it all the time. Sorry. No. They're going to double down And they're just going to further alienate themselves from the mainstream, from your normal rank and file everyday Americans. I mean, you really think about this. What do most people want? Most people want a sexy spouse that they can fuck, have some kids that they can raise, and enough money to be, have a one-income household where a parent can stay home and raise them. Only feminists and delusional young women are like, I gotta be a girl boss and pay taxes, work back. How's that going, lady? By the way, how's that going? Gen Z boss in a mini. Gen Z boss in a mini. How's that going? Is that going good? You're about as happy as Hillary Clinton? Good. I wish you the equal amount of success. But the average person just wants to be let. They don't want shit in their cereal. And they don't want politics in their fun. You know what? They want nice people too. They don't want the mean fucking shrews that are on the View. And by the way, Anand and Jason, women want masculine men. Fucking hell. So that's fine, Rachel Maddow. She's a true believer. She man, like an entire life of, I want other people to keep giving other people free money. Have fun. I mean, that's like panhandling for someone else, really. You know what I mean? You think about that. You're the one holding the sign out, and then you get the money, but then you give it to someone else. I'm going to go, I know a person who has passed away, and it's the classic not connected Democrat life. Like Rachel Maddow, all these people that we've been talking about, they've had connections. They've had privilege, genuine privilege. Ocasio-Cortez, right? Your average Democrat doesn't get that in life. You don't. You get poverty and squalor and mental illness. But I'll do that later. All right, let's go to the super chats. The Plains Warrior for $5. No such thing as news reporting anymore. It's all opinion or editorial. Exactly. And for everyone out there, if you look, you say, well, I want to understand politics. Okay, don't read articles. Just go get data. You can go to the Fred database at the St. Louis Federal Reserve. You could go to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Now, they're even, I suspect they're starting to bias the data. Then if you believe that, go to Shadow Stats. Just go look at data. The International Labor Organization, the OECD, if you wanted international information. But I'm going to summarize all the research you're going to find out, and the data's going to point to, unless it's biased, right? There's no such thing as free lunch. If there was a way we could just print off more money and everybody, we would have done it. We would have done it. Whatever politician could have figured out the silver bullet to that problem would have implemented it. We would have solved poverty. Everyone would be independently wealthy, and that person would go down in history as probably the world's greatest man or woman. If we would have, if there was a way, we would have figured it out by now. At the end of the day, you need to get off your ass and work. That's it. Anything else that tells you otherwise is a lie. And journalists who do not do real work, they've never worked real jobs in their lives, they don't know what it takes to be a real man or a woman, to actually support themselves. I fully admit all the time, this is not a real job. However, I have worked many real jobs for many hours and knows what it takes. Like the hard part, that was the hard part. And then I kind of was stable even before this YouTube thing, internet thing took off. Like I was stable in 2013 before I started Asshole Consulting in 2014. It took work, lots of work. The lies the media tells you that somehow there's free shit at the end of the rainbow is a lie. And all you do is waste your life trying to wait for that rainbow to come. Drew, $2 left-wing media is condescending towards men. It's condescending towards everyone. Like they really, they're very condescending to women. You can major whatever you want. And if something doesn't go your way, it's men's fault. And goes like, okay. The left-wing media is even worse to women because they could sell women on shit. Worthless degrees, handbags, a romantic relationship with the state and not a man. Oh, it's just horrible what they've done to women. Ass Bucket, $2. When will it be the end of sports ball media bros? I looked into that yesterday. It's going to track the Sturgis motorcycle rally, I think. The Sturgis motorcycle rally is dying. It'll never go away. There'll always be the rally, but young people just aren't doing motorcycles anymore. The average age, I think, is just shy of 60 of the average Sturgis goer. And I looked into sports ball, and young people aren't watching sports. The 65 and up, 82% of them watch sports on television. And then they also did attending games. So I'm just going to go with television. So old people really like their sports ball. And then people 18 to 35, I believe it was, only 52% watch sports on television. So it'll be a slow decay, but maybe in 2 generations, unless the NBA, NFL, MLB does something to get younger people in there. NASCAR, it's funny. I think they're 59. They're an older group. Average age of NASCAR is 50-something. But let's get rid of our race pit girls. I think that was F1, though. I think they got rid of the race pit girls. That's a them problem. I don't care how you get young people to watch your game anymore. I would, if you want, on my honest opinion, to get any young people, but especially boys, to then become men, to be interested in anything, you got to stop sending them to public schools. That's where minds go to die. Like, you just get, I'm sure you guys had the same experience, but you went to the public schools. It was just demoralizing. Like, you just didn't give a fuck about anything in life, right? You're a kindergartner, first day, you're all excited about it. And by about the 3rd grade, it's over. You're like, oh, fuck me. And then you come out, then you gotta go to college. There's nothing to live for. I totally get why guys just want to play their video games, do their drugs. I understand why a lot of guys say, no, I'm just gonna be a basement dweller. Fuck it. I get it. I would argue van life, like, instead of basement dweller, you could still not participate in society and be an adventurer. Van life, go hiking, explore, motorcycle ride. I know it takes a little bit of money, but I also give you, like, at the end of, you're 18, you've been in school for 13 years. Where's the energy? You took away hot women and beautiful women and girls that, like, generally treat men nice. Well, they got no motivation. There's no gas in the tank. And even if there was gas in the tank, where would they go? Like, what's the destination? Feminist bitch and wine fest? Am I going to go now? No. Oh, wait, overseas. I forgot. The Passport Bros. Hat tip to you guys. Ace Montana tied for first place for the most American name in America. $5. I'm 29 and never had a cable or streaming. I never had cable either. Anyone else? Also, lefties call states' rights segregation for some reason. I love it in the ballot measures. The lefties, if they thought about it, would be for states' rights because it also enshrines and protects their rights in other states. It's not, look, the federal government, imagine the federal government is a switch. It's either on or off. You either get your rights or you don't. So if you got, you're all complaining about the Supreme Court because of Trump, that's at the federal level. All right. But if it isn't a switch on or off, but there's 50 switches and you could go to the switches where it's on for you and off for the other people, there you go. It's that lack of common sense that your average electorate does not get. Like, if you don't understand the importance of states' rights and you're dumb enough, it's segregation. How the fuck is that segregation? Why? Because the Civil War was okay. I understand where the federal government comes in, not because we're not doing slavery no more. Like, I get that. Or the federal government comes in. No. You don't come up with all your horseshit, illegals, and anyone gets to vote bullshit. We're cracking down on that. I could see where there's national concerns. No, we're doing it this way. Like the drinking age, I disagree with federal intervention there. No, the drinking age should be set by the states. Abortion, states. Gun rights, states. Although There is the Second Amendment, so the federal government would have to say, yeah, well, we get an override here because the Bill of Rights. Or Second Amendment, sorry. um, yeah, legalization of drugs. I think that'd be states' rights. Yeah. Ken Rose, he says hello for $5. Hello, Ken. Paulie Baseman, two British pounds. Did somebody say boobs? Yeah. Tiggle bitties, which can only be found if you want them on Thin Girls. You got to go. See, you got to go to the animes. You got to go to the animus now. You're not going to find them here in the United States. Gio Gonzalez, $5. Univision suggested to my parents that if they voted for Trump, they were in essence supporting Hitler. They voted Republican for the first time. Yeah, I think the Latinos are getting sick and tired of being told what good or bad people they are based on who they vote. The Quality Guy, $2. A lot of this is Disney's fault as well. What with convincing women that their prince will come around the corner? Or do you mean more modern Disney where I think more modern Disney helped Trump get elected? I really do. I think with all their girl boss horse shit, people just got sick of that. Nelson Rivera, $5. Not just that, a lot of what the left is saying is also being archived as well. Oh yeah, the internet won't forget. That Schreier guy, he deleted his tweet, but they got it. Get woke, go bro. Top of the charts. He was talking about the day Veilguard released, and it went to the top of the charts because it was the first day it released. And since then, it has gone down. And we'll wait for sales figures if they ever publish them. But best it looks like is BioWare, and by association, EA is they're gonna eat at least $150 million in losses. But hey, at least it was gay. All right, that's the important thing, right? Gay people, right? You don't have tastes. You don't have requirements, right? Gay people. It only matters that if it's gay. Target sells shit on their stuff, but they have the pride flag, right? Never mind, it's $80 for a shirt. When you go to a restaurant, right? The food can taste like shit. It could get you sick, but hey, it's got a gay pride flag on, right? Gay people don't have standards or tastes. They don't want to have fun. All they give a shit about is whether there's a flag in front of the business or not. Paulie Baseman, 5 British pounds. The itty-bitty office gal should be fired for wasting company time. Evidence provided pathetic behavior for grown adults. I don't know where that was. They are not going to look, just over time, they're not going to be there anymore. And that was more of a function of low interest rates and feminism, but it's over now. The days of like, oh my God, my day in the office at Twitter, the money isn't there anymore. Now, girls can do that. They will get fired. It happens. It's recorded forever. Like, I'm sure somewhere out there, people know the names of those girls. It's written. Like, you could find itty bitty girl boss in a mini and like names girls. Their names are now known. A lot of these TikTok gals, I guess their names are not. It's there. It's there for everyone to see. But down the road, when interest rates are higher, which they are, or the boss comes in, you're all fired. I mean, you're going to have the Alyssa McCanty things. Like, there's no video games journalism anymore. So now she's going to go work for a nonprofit as the activist she is. All right, fine. Have fun, begging for government handouts. But there will be no great achievements on the part. Like, in other words, they got all their career success up front. They got and it wasn't even money. It was like attention. They probably did get some money. They got the attention. They got the money. Interest rates go up. Some hedge fund manager, not hedge fund, a private equity group comes in, buys it up. Like, you're all fired. Right? What is not sustainable will end. Rashil Patel, $5 generous dollars. Did you hear that Trump is considering Marco Rubio for Secretary of State? No. I mean, okay, good, I guess. Is there anything wrong with that? Rashil, I didn't pay attention to the politics before the election, so I don't know. It's not Marco Rubio. Who's the one that Trump ran against the last time? And those two don't like each other. Also Latino guy, Florida. Oh, fuck. What the hell is his name? He's got the beard now. I thought he'd make an okay president. Jorge asked $5. If you need to make left-wing media great again, just put a bunch of busty and big bottom gals, bikinis, booms, ratings will go up through the roof. Yeah, that is antithetical to the left-wing religion. You can't be pretty. Look, let me make it even more simple why it's over for the left-wing media. You can't lie. You can't lie anymore. You can't say a video game is great and then it fails and you delete your post and go hide. You can't, well, in the case of Alyssa Mercante, basically harass people's private lives, people that disagree with you on the internet, challenge people to fights and have anyone take you seriously while you promote something. You can't be an Anita Sarkeesian saying men fucking suck and we need them out of video. It's literally, I'm not even, I wish I was, satirizing that. But no, you can't put shit in the punch bowl and expect people to drink the punch bowl. And when it comes to journalism, you can't lie to people for so long in the world of the internet where we can verify your shit in half a second and expect to maintain your reputation. You can't. I mean, The View is long. No one really takes The View seriously. Not for decades, or at least a decade. And I think what people really got to worry about now is how not just people on the fence, but your small people Democrats. I'm here for the little people. Democrats who aren't radical ideologues, they're kind people who want to help out other people. And they naively think giving charity to them will help. Those people are starting to realize just what a mentally ill, hate-filled, lying group of people the left-wing media is. And like, but you're not helping the people. I don't want my son to learn about getting his dick cut off in the 5th grade. I I don't want illegal immigrants in my neighborhood. What are you talking? What? I'm not a fascist for wanting a balanced budget amendment. And that's where it's over. It's over. These people are over. Done. Hey, look, make a little bit more money as long as the paychecks keep coming in, but save your money and retire. Your dream of converting people and convincing people that you're right and we need all this radical leftist horse shit, it's done. No one believes you anymore. You're not reputable. You're not Walter Cronkite. You're just you're the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party. It's over. And that's fine. There's a lot of people that want to believe the lies. A lot of women want to believe that they could go major in poetry and make money. Trying to think what other lies are out there. I don't know. A lot of lazy people think that they're entitled to free shit and that someday their boat will come in. You just got to hold off a little bit more. And the Democrat Party will make everything all right. Just hold on a little bit. You'll always have your diehard people who just don't want to believe truth. What do you mean I got to work for a living? No, it's Trump's fault. It's the corporation's fault. It's Republicans in the Senate. Fine. It's white men's fault. Fine. Go believe it. But inevitably, people get sick and tired of being lied to when they try to. I think what it is so many young people invested their youth in doing what leftists generally told them, and it didn't work out. It's not that they're going to vote Republican, but they definitely become demoralized and they stop voting Democrat. I think that's what it is. But yeah, if they put in a bunch of hot chicks to anything, the ratings are going to go through the roof. But then it wouldn't be left-wing media. You cannot have pretty things, women or cars or anything in the left. It must be ugly. It must be the Borg. Joe Orbit's $10. Off topic, but I'm going sober at 24, day 2. What has helped you stay sober? I finally realized drinking 3 days straight was a sign that there was something wrong with my life. 3, shit, try 7. Couple things. One, there's the science, the facts behind it. You need to go at least 2 weeks with no booze. Your brain has become adapted to the booze. The hardest part is the first 2 weeks because your brain is going to throw every signal. Because it's like you're not getting oxygen. You're like, whoa, something's wrong. So even though frontally, like, no, everything's fine, your entire body's going to be screaming, like, we need to get this or we're going to die. You're not going to die. So you got to push through that. So at least 2 weeks. 2, I would engage in any other kind of vice you'd like. Eat whatever you want. next 2 weeks. Pizza, ice cream, because I don't believe humans can go without a vice. And you're giving up your main vice, so make it up with something else. Alcohol will kill you if you don't get it under control. Ice cream will kill you, but a lot slower. And if you just eat ice cream or whatever, if you eat junk food for a month, it's not healthy for you, but it ain't going to kill you, assuming down the road you inevitably wean yourself off the ice cream as well. I would also then get into running. Running releases endorphins and it is good for you. So it kind of offsets the ice cream or whatever other wonderfully tasty but bad for you food goes in. And then I would get good night's sleep. It's all boring stuff. Be active, like go out and meet people, get stuff to keep it off your mind. And once your brain tries to argue with itself, hey, if there's there's no rational. No, you stop worrying. You're going to spend more energy worrying about and arguing with yourself. It's like, no, it's just a decision. We're not drinking at least for 2 weeks. Right? That's it. We're just not doing it. And I'm not kidding. You know what I would do? You know what I would do? If you want to get laid, here's Cappy's way to sobriety. I think you got every right to take your money and go get yourself a prostitute in Pahrump. Fly to Vegas, get a car rental or something. Go out, get yourself a prostitute. You've earned it. Because if you go 2 weeks without drinking, like that would be your reward. Fly out to Pahrump and get laid. Absolutely. It's better than drinking. It is. Sex is better than drinking. Did you know that? Sex is better than drinking. Stephanie Kuziora. Oh, Stefan Kuziora. 50 Norwegian kroners. There must be an opportunity to design a dating app that properly matches users one-to-one. I got a guy emailed me about such a thing. Not specifically that. Dude, they designed it a while ago, and then they fucked with it. Here's my concern about dating apps. You need dates, and women need to say yes to dates. I don't care if the dating app is fair and just and it matches you all up. I mean, go ahead, try it. But at the end of the day, the reason dating apps aren't going to work is because women don't go on dates. That's it. There you go. Lovember, $2. They start kids on Disney Young, Cappy. Yeah, no, I wouldn't doubt it. This is where parents need to come in. I can't believe my child's doing that. Well, you don't watch what they're watching on TV. You let them consume poison. Oh my God. Now they want to do the thing Disney told them to do. Ace Montana, $5. Fed drinking law is purchase and have in public. My state law is 18 on private property with adult family members. Yeah, okay. There's my point. On Tuesdays, with a left-handed father, and just God damn it, man. Set up to each state could be as complicated as you want it to be. The federal government get in there. Why would the feds get involved? Like, really? What do you care? I guarantee you it was mad. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. It was women who were just bored. Meh. Joe Orbit's $10. From an objective lens, I don't believe the Dems will be able to recover until at least 2032. If they even suggest walking any of the policies and ideals back, it might cause the entire party to split. You're not wrong. You're not. I mean, show me the reasonable Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, switched to the Republican Party. And she's the only person I know who is a moderate, reasonable Democrat. The Democrat Party has become increasingly inhuman. Not inhumane, inhuman. Right? You can't look. You should defend everyone's rights. Everyone, including not straight people. However, you don't force not straight people's sexuality on kids, right? Just that's inhuman. You don't force, I don't think you should have politics enforced on kids. Like there should be, you teach civics and law and history. There's no political discussions at school. That's it. There's no religious discussions at school. That's for the kids and their parents. The Democrats being inhuman, weaponizing women against men. That's what they've done. Don't tell me any fucking. I'm sick and tired. Like, not all feminists hate. No, no. I'm just going to generalize. You generally hate men. That. What's that? What's that about? And then saying, "Oh yeah, you men." They don't do it to women, but you gotta like fat, ugly people. Fuck, we do. It's not human. I honestly, I don't think the budget or national defense. I don't think any of that came up. Any boring economic things I'd be of interest in. I don't think that really came up. I think it was all social. Prince Revolver, $10. It's amazing how the media doesn't seem to understand that the internet exists. Without it, Kamala would have won. Yeah, they really are old. They really don't understand. Well, the guy, the Pompidou guy. We got to get online and get our alternative to prevent the fascists from coming. We need to turn them into feminist Marxists. Like, hey, how about you don't turn them into fascists or feminist Marxists? Just me. I don't know. How about we turn them into Americans? We're like women with big tits and freedom. Oh, okay, Hitler. All right, Pompidou, man. Why don't you get your doctorate in some other joke of a fucking dick sucking degree? Yeah, they just have to. They turn a switch and they record to YouTube. Everything they do on YouTube, they port it over to YouTube. There you go. There it is. Now you got your message on the internet. It's so easy for the Republicans now to secure their gains, right? All Republicans have to do is get attractive women to in society again. Like someone in the Republican party should buy Playboy and turn it into a right-wing political conservative magazine, but with naked women. Honest to God, they should. They should. I have no idea. Just put women back on sports, like the racing car. Have the car girls again. Put in our video games. Elon Musk, will you please fund a video game studio where we can have our pretty women back? And Republicans should get vicious with ugly feminists. Like, why would I listen to an ugly woman? No, shut up. I know. Men bad, right? Evil penis. Ooh, male gaze. Hang on. Let me go get a picture. You just get a hold up picture of Brie Larson from Marvel Gal. Just ugly. Here, talk to the ugly feminist. Here, talk to permanent resting bitch face. There you go. Okay. I don't know. The Republican Party become the fun party again, maybe? Off the deep end, $5. Economics is really nothing more than human nature broken down in mathematical terms. You got it. It's just a scorecard. It's all it is. It's just the statistical representation of human behavior. That's it. You're right. When you understand human nature, you understand economics. Yes. And you can use economics to see patterns in human behavior like, oh, I see. Now here, I'll tell you this. Economics, human nature. Everyone's trying to avoid work. That's it. It's all everyone's trying to do. All right. Link below is a link to all my resources. There's books on economics and finance and just not being a miserable person. There are courses all offered through Teachable. Those are more get your financial shit together type of courses. For those of you who are Democrats, and you don't have your dad around, there's a course out there called The Dad You Never Had. It doesn't turn you into a Republican. It just turns you into a man. And it turns you ladies into a lady who might actually stand a chance of finding a man that you love and want to have sex with. Well, there is the Subscribe Star podcast, or my Subscribe Star account, where I host the Road Trip podcast. That has a $2. That's my elite membership thing. It's $2 a month. You could pay more if you'd like. So it grants you access to that archive, and then also some PG-13 pinups that some women back in the day. Do you remember back in the day where girls would, oh yeah, I'll send you some pics. Here you go, tee-hee. It was fun. Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore. Anyway, so there's some pinups there that some girls. If you girls want to submit some pinups, PG-13, please only. Certainly feel free to contact me at Asshole Consulting. It's kind of always like they're really like 10 years old. I'm just like, I should I I'd like to, I could just go pay for a model. I don't even have to pay for 'em. I'm sure there's, like, pre-pictures I could go pay for, like, through Shutterstock. I like it when it's girls on our team who does it because it's like, yeah, these are girls that actually like guys or they're on board, they're just fun. It means a little bit more, I guess. Oh, no, that was back in my crazy days. Crazy days, you're in a bikini. What are you talking about? Uh, and then my Amazon affiliate link. If you gotta do some shopping, please mark that it's at my Amazon affiliate link. And if you can't see that link, you can always go to olderbrother.com/donate. Click on the link and you can do your Amazon shopping there. That's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.